there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lakehead International Live. My name is Hartika Narayankar, and I'll be your host today. First, I just want to take a moment to welcome all of you. So whether this is your first webinar with us or you have joined us before, we are really glad that you're here. We are excited to share more about our three hometowns here in Ontario, Canada. That is Thunder Bay, Orillia, and Barrie. So for those of you who do not know me, I'm the International Social Media Officer here based on our Thunder Bay campus. And today I'm joined by two lovely guests from our faculty, which is Jordan from Thunder Bay campus and Katie from our Orillia campus. So let's just start with introductions. Jordan, will start from you.
Thanks, Hartika. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. My name is Jordan Ball. I'm the International Coordinator of Global Pre-Arrival. So for our students that are entering an undergraduate program or perhaps pursuing academic English program with our English Language Center, you've probably worked with me or you will be working with me at some point to secure a provincial attestation letter. Beyond that, though, I help support student transition to Thunder Bay, Orillia, and Barrie. So I'm looking forward to helping that over the next few months here. Today, of course, I'm your expert in Thunder Bay things. I'm born and raised here, but I'll dive into that a bit further and later on. So for now, I'll pass back to Katie.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Katie Stevenson. I'm the International Engagement Specialist, and I am south of my colleagues in Thunder Bay. I'm in Orillia. So I support students as they start to plan their arrival to Orillia or Barrie. And then I also support you throughout your journey here at Lakehead. The other important service that I offer to students is immigration advising as a regulated international student immigration advisor. And I'll be talking to you a little bit more about two of our southern hometowns later this morning.
Thank you both. It is great to have you here. So let's just dive into our today's session. So here's what we will be covering today. An introduction to Lakehead and Canada, all about Thunder Bay, Orillia, and Barrie, including the history, recreation and entertainment spots, and Lakehead's location. Now, before we dive into our campuses, let's talk about Canada. So Canada is known for being safe, peaceful, and inclusive. It is also a young and diverse country, which means that international students are welcomed and supported. Canada is consistently ranked top 10 greenest countries in the world to live in. On top of that, Canada is also ranked among the top 14 most peaceful countries in the world. That means that it's safe and welcoming and a really supportive place for international students from all kinds of backgrounds. We are also known for being inclusive. So Canada was actually the first country to officially embrace multiculturalism, and that just shows why nearly 1 million international students now call Canada home. You'll also benefit from a high quality of life, strong global rankings, and opportunities to work while studying. So let's talk a bit more about that. So work opportunities and what comes next after graduation. So while you're studying, you can work up to 24 hours a week during the semester. It is an excellent way to manage expenses, gain Canadian work experience, and start just building your professional network. Post-graduation, every Lakehead program qualifies you for a post-graduation work permit, which can give you up to 3 years of open work experience in Canada. And long-term earning of Canadian degree gives you extra points towards permanent residency. Now let's just begin with a quick overview of Lakehead University. So we are a public institution located in Ontario, Canada, with 3 unique locations, which we'll be discussing in the future slides, which is Thunder Bay, Orillia, and a specialized STEM hub in Barrie. So at Lakehead, 96.2% of our graduates are employed within 2 years. Small class sizes we have 15:1 ratio of students to professor and 13:1 ratio in Orillia campus. You also get strong research reputation at Lakehead, and we have over 90 nationalities represented with our student body. At Lakehead, we also focus on delivering an experience that is anything but ordinary. So this means that you will get hands-on learning, access to nature and outdoor experiences, strong research opportunities, and a supportive and close-knit community. Now, let's just shift gears and start looking at Lakehead through a different lens. So what it actually feels like to live and study in Thunder Bay, Orillia, and Barrie. At Lakehead University, we like to say that we are far from the ordinary. So if you have already applied, or if you are likely getting ready to begin that journey, or if you're still deciding, which many of you probably are, today is really about helping you figure out if Lakehead is the right fit for you. And just as importantly, this is your space to ask questions. So explore your options and also start picturing what your future could look like here at Lakehead. So I would ask all of you to take some time to just think about a few things, which is when you think about your university years, what do you want them to look like? Do you want something typical, predictable, or just like everyone else? Or do you want something more something that feels more exciting, or something that's gonna make you feel like you truly have a Canadian experience? You need to imagine a university experience that's genuinely transformative. So it should be a place where your classroom isn't just limited to four walls, but it's going to extend to the natural environment that is around you. Or where your learning is hands-on, immersive, and connected to the real-world experiences. Where you can get education that helps you shape you and your future using the world-renowned facilities and researchers that will challenge you and guide you in whichever area you wish to pursue. Or is it in a university where you are supported by a community that wants to see you succeed and celebrate your achievements along the way? So at Lakehead, that's the kind of experience we aim to create. At Lakehead University, we have much to be proud of. As I mentioned earlier, we consistently rank among the top universities in Canada for research, and we are recognized as one of the leading universities in North America for institutions under 10,000 students. So with that, let's just talk a bit more about Lakehead in Ontario to help you better understand that experience, and just let's take a closer look at where it all happens. Our locations are welcoming, safe, and offer a great student experience. So depending on your program, you will be based at one of these three locations, and we'll let you know that during the application process. Now, for context, Thunder Bay is about a 90-minute flight from Toronto, and Orillia and Barrie are roughly a 90-minute drive from downtown Toronto. So no matter where you are, you're never far from one of the Canada's big cities. And while Toronto is big and busy, our hometown locations offer something different, which is they are friendly, safe communities that's going to give you the real Canadian experience, and they are affordable too. So with that, I would invite now Jordan to take over and talk a bit more about Thunder Bay as our hometown. So Jordan, over to you.
Thank you so much, Hardika. Like I said earlier on, Thunder Bay is my hometown. I've been born and raised here. So I'm really excited to share more about what makes it great for a destination in terms of studying at Lakehead, one of three incredible locations of ours, I should say. Diving into the next slide, though, I'll chat a bit about the city of Thunder Bay just to set the stage, and then we'll do some of the backtracking history, and then we'll explore the surrounding environment. So Thunder Bay is actually the largest city in Northwestern Ontario, situated essentially in the heart of Canada, has incredible art, music, film, and culinary scenes, and essentially we see it as Canada's greatest outdoor city, and is perfect for those who are not so outdoorsy as well, though. Located on the shores of Lake Superior, one of the world's largest freshwater lakes, Thunder Bay is actually just geographic center of Canada, essentially, and we're just 45 minutes away from the United States border. Thunder Bay International Airport also receives daily flights that are direct from Winnipeg, Toronto, as well as other destinations across Canada. So it's easily connected to some of those major airport hubs that then connect you back home or elsewhere across the world. On the next slide, I'll chat a bit about where Thunder Bay essentially got its name. Thunder Bay actually sometimes is called Lakehead because it is the head of the Great Lakes. So if you look at the Great Lakes system, five distinct lakes shared geographically with Canada and the United States. Lake Superior is at the top left there, and Thunder Bay is located at the head. Thunder Bay itself is surrounded by parks and wilderness areas, and major industries that employ our citizens each and every day include transportation, manufacturing, education, mining, and forestry. Some of those quick facts that I know people like to hear about perhaps moving to a new city is that we have seven shopping districts, three major airlines that support those flights in and out of our international airport, over 200 restaurants featuring food from around the world, over 20 annual city festivals and events, and 300 days of sunshine. So previous to Thunder Bay becoming the city that we know it and love it today, it actually started as two cities or two different towns. So I'll get Hardik to go to the next slide and we'll talk a bit about that history. So the history of Thunder Bay comes from um, Port Arthur and Fort William. But of course, humans have been living in this area for over 10,000 years, and even the stone tools, spear points, axe heads, scraping implements have been found and provide valuable clues about life in the early days in our region. Port Arthur is on the north end of town, and it's actually named after Prince Arthur, the son of Victoria, Queen Victoria, that is. Port Arthur thrived as a transshipment and grain handling port for CNR Rail back in the day, and it opened lines to Winnipeg, Manitoba in the early 1900s. It was a major shipping destination, of course, and was responsible for moving projects from Western Canada through the Great Lakes system and actually still does on a regular basis. And from 1871, Port Arthur was actually designated as the administrative district for the area that surrounds our region. Fort William, on the other hand, was named after a fur trading settlement that formed at the head of Lake Superior, which is where the canoe route from the Great Lakes enters into Western Canada. So we are rooted in plenty of history here in Thunder Bay, really distinct history in terms of our two hometowns, if you will. But we've grown to love just the one that we know today, and that's Thunder Bay. Next, I'll chat a bit about the waterfront. This is a really vibrant, diverse, and inclusive space or area that I often frequent myself. Thunder Bay's waterfront district provides really unique opportunities for our students with dozens of businesses, historic offerings, as well as a wonderful variety of activities, dining, shopping that makes it just about perfect for everyone. Prince Arthur's Landing is actually what we call Thunder Bay's waterfront. It's an area filled with the year-round excitement and fun. Just steps away from the shore, you'll find the waterfront district, as I noted, which again, home to countless bars, restaurants, shops, all that sort of stuff. In the summer months, boats fill the harbor, ocean-bound ships come and go to those shipping hubs, and the smells and sounds of many festivals and events definitely fill the air. Families typically enjoy the splash pad down here in the summer. We also have something called Live on the Waterfront, which is a free concert series that has been going on for over 100 years, where award-winning acts will actually come to the waterfront and perform on the stage, entertaining many crowds. In the winter, the same splash pad that's enjoyed by families is turned into an ice skating rink with a fireplace. There's also things like the Winter Fun Day takeovers, where you can try things like snowshoeing, dog sledding, fat biking, and so much more. Typically, that's also offered for free, something put on by the city of Thunder Bay. You can also check out even the annual snow sculpture competition as a part of Snow Day, which typically takes place in February on Family Day here in Ontario. And coming very soon, which is very exciting, is the Thunder Bay Art Gallery, which is our hopes, of course. It's going to renew the connections to the formerly quite industrial waterfront that gives us our roots and our rich history, while also now providing a really incredible modern space to celebrate the gallery's diverse collection. The main hall is designed to be influenced by strong Indigenous narratives and embraces the surrounding landscape with spectacular views of Lake Superior and Nana Bijou, who is the sleeping giant. So diving into the next slide, I know I teased you with talking about all those shops and restaurants and bars that you can test out downtown. We're quite proud of the food scene here in Thunder Bay. I myself am quite a foodie. I know Hardica is quite a foodie. Katie has visited Thunder Bay on several occasions, and I've had the pleasure to host her at some of these restaurants that I cherish many memories with. But the waterfront district is really great because it's home to so much for us and brings so much livelihood to our lives and to hopefully your lives one day. Moving on to the next slide, as I noted, Thunder Bay is considered one of the greatest outdoor cities in Canada, and with that, we are really proud of the recreational opportunities that are offered in the city directly or even in the surrounding areas. So what we're looking at on the screen here is Boulevard Lake, actually. Boulevard Lake is a public park just located in the old Fort William, if you will. It's a large park that's maintained by the city. It's centered around this man-made lake. The park itself is actually 74 hectares in size. It's quite large and it features playgrounds, a sand beach, canoeing and kayaking opportunities. There's even dragon boat festivals sometimes in the summer. There's tennis courts, pickleball courts, mini golf, volleyball, like beach volleyball courts, plenty to do down here. In the summer and in the winter, there's walking trails around the entire circumference of the lake itself. And in the winter, some of the hills that surround the water lend really well to tobogganing and going down on sleds, which is a classic opportunity to see the outdoors and enjoy winter here in Canada. Beyond that, Thunder Bay is actually home to over 100 parks and several kilometers of paved recreational trails that connect those parks or different neighborhoods. So, active transportation is something that you can look forward to. Within those park systems, there's outdoor skating rinks, dog parks. Oftentimes, there's events like kite festivals, carnivals, car shows. There's picnic areas, botanical gardens, disc golf, plenty to do and see in our park system here in Thunder Bay. I noted earlier Nana Bijou, which is the sleeping giant, on the next slide. It is the Sibley Peninsula. So I'll get Hardica to advance to the next slide and we'll take a peek at what that looks like. The Sibley Peninsula, or as I noted, Sleeping Giant, is known in Thunder Bay as quite a famous icon. It's a natural rock peninsula in the shape of essentially a sleeping giant. You can see the outline on the left side of your screen is the head, and then as you go down the rock formation, you would see the shoulders or the chest all the way down to the lower abdomen and legs. The rock juts out from or into, pardon me, Lake Superior, and many stories surround this landmark. One Ojibwe legend actually identifies the giant as Nana Bijou, who turned to stone when the secret location of a rich silver mine, now known as Silver Islet, actually was disclosed to voyagers. It's now part of a national park system, and you can camp, canoe, bike, hike all around this Thunder Bay landmark. Aside from the outdoors, there's plenty of things to do in terms of getting involved and having an exciting nightlife, essentially. Fort William Gardens is home to many of those events that we really look forward to. It's a multi-purpose arena here in Thunder Bay. It hosts large sporting events, concerts, conferences throughout the year. It's actually home to Lakehead University's Thunderwolves hockey team, which we'll take a peek at on the next slide. So Thunderwolves hockey team. The men's hockey team typically plays here about 20 games each year, home games that is. And these games are really great opportunities for students to get out and experience the great Canadian hockey. Students living in residence also typically have the opportunity to sit with all of their housemates and peers from residence in dedicated sections, which is really exciting. We often see some of the first few games that are hosted here in Thunder Bay filled with new students that are getting to experience the Thunderwolves first home game, or thousands of returning fans. We have an incredible fan base, and if I'm not mistaken, Fort William Gardens has roughly 5,000 seats, and oftentimes we're packing the house, which is really exciting. It's hard to put into perspective and talk about it. You almost have to experience it, and hopefully one day very soon you'll get that opportunity to do it. Diving back into the surrounding area, Mount McKay here is pictured sort of in the forefront of the image. It's a large mountain on the south core of Thunder Bay, and is host to actually a city lookout as well as Indigenous events like powwows. It's located on Fort William First Nations. And then in the background of the photo, you can see the arrow pointing to Loch Lomond Ski Hill. It's one of several ski hills here in the Thunder Bay area. And it's also in between those two locations, there's an incredible golf course called the Fort William Country Club. Beyond that, we'll go to the next slide and take a peek at one of the many events that we've hosted here in Thunder Bay. From music and cultural festivals to food events, there's typically something going on each and every weekend. Like I noted, Thunder Bay's Live on the Waterfront brings those summer concerts with a mix of lively or even eclectic music. There's also typical festivals, either hosted downtown or in the Thunder Bay area, which brings some stellar lineups in terms of musicians and award-winning acts. You can also take to the streets, and there's local street fairs similar to the Westport Street Fair or the Buskers Festival. You can also do things like in this photo, the Festival of India or Festa Italiana. Um, Famous to our recruiters from China, they love Rib Fest here in Thunder Bay. Typically, if they have the opportunity to get here and see the campus for themselves each year, Rib Fest happens to align with when they're visiting, and they always have to hit it up. So it's an exciting time for them, and once again, hopefully you'll get to experience it one day. Winter, of course, is something that we fully have embraced here in Canada and in Thunder Bay. And so you can see some of the winter activities actually on the screen here that I've noted. So there's cross-country skiing and snowboarding, sleigh rides, fat biking, snow tubing, ice fishing, snowmobiling, snowshoeing. Plenty to do. That's all to say that winter is not a time that necessarily you need to stay indoors. We embrace the cold, we embrace the snow. Um, we always say that you can dress for the weather, at least here in Canada. You can always add an extra layer. You can add an extra mitt or a hat or a toque, and you can get outside and enjoy the winter activities. One of the most common activities for our students is definitely skiing and snowboarding. So on the next slide, we'll take a quick peek at some of the most popular destinations. On the left-hand side, Loch Lomond and Mount Baldy are two ski and snowboard areas with downhill slopes. Both actually offer snow tubing opportunities as well, which is really exciting. On the right-hand side, you'll see four of our distinct cross-country skiing destinations. Sleeping Giant and Pekabeka at the top there are two provincial parks, and Lappy Nordic Ski Center as well as Cambue Nordic Ski Center are privately owned, but rich in terms of history. Lappi is really popular among our Finn population, our Finnish expats here in Thunder Bay. Both Lappi and Cambue are destinations that I have frequented with one of our recruiters, Laura, who many of you may know through her emails or connecting with you. We often find ourselves here in the winter enjoying the cross-country skiing. As we've talked about Thunder Bay, I want to now dive a little bit deeper into our campus, actually. So Lakehead University is situated in the heart of the city. It has fields and green space that surround our campus, but the buildings are technically or somewhat all conveniently located together in one central location, creating a true campus feeling. Many of the university's buildings are grouped around Lake Tamlin, which is in the photo you see here, and the university center that surrounds it is the heart of the university oftentimes. Um, this, along with residents, hugs the banks of the McIntyre River, and there's also underground tunnels that connect many of our main and centralized buildings, allowing easy access between class and facilities, especially on maybe a rainy day or an extra cold day where you just want to jet off to the next class and don't want to have to bundle up again. There's paved trails that surround our campus and weave through them, making it a really great opportunity to get outdoors, whether you want to go on a walk, a rollerblade, even a quick bike ride, or in the winter cross-country skiing. Thunder Bay is home to over 7,000 students, or nearly 7,000 students. We have a 15 to 1 student to campus student faculty ratio. We have a river and a lake right on campus, and there's over 100 hectares of campus space. On the next slide, we'll actually take a peek at where Lakehead is located. And as I noted, it's in the center or the heart of the city. You can see Port Arthur, the North Core on the left, Fort William, the South Core on the right, and Lakehead University smack dab in the middle. To get around the city, you will have access to a bus pass for our undergrad students that is included in your ancillary fees. And for our graduate, i.e. master's and doctoral students, it's a simple opt-in fee through our Lakehead University Student Union, heavily discounted for our students as well. On the next slide, we'll take a peek at the campus itself. So getting to know campus, you can see here where we've labeled Lakehead University on the left-hand side of your map. And conveniently, we're located about 11 minutes away from the international airport. And so once you land, or if you're off to your next adventure, convenient access to your next flight. On the next slide, we'll take a peek at the main campus and sort of, as I noted, the main campus that's noted here is where all those academic buildings are located. Conveniently, though, there's the athletics here on the bottom left, and residence fills most of your right-hand side of the photo, all within just a couple minutes of a walk from each other. And if we take a look at the next slide, it's the other side of this photo, essentially the other angle. Again, a couple more residence options. The Faculty of Education building comes into view on the right-hand side, but athletics is again at the top of the image with main campus in the center. And last but not least, before I pass things on to Katie, I'll chat a bit about the proximity Lakehead University shares with some of those popular common destinations that anyone considering a new hometown should be weighing in or factoring in, and that includes shopping. So whether or not you have access to several grocery stores, one of the most popular grocery stores for our students is conveniently just 2 kilometers away, or a short bus ride. There's the shopping center on the right there, where it is Walmart, Indigo, Best Buy, Staples, Dollarama, plenty of options. Number 3, the shopping mall is Intercity Shopping Center with tens of stores with a wide range of different opportunities. So something also that you may look to explore further and see what shopping you can get done. And then number 4 here is another shopping center, which is home to Canadian Tire, Winners, HomeSense, Old Navy, Home Depot. Again, tons of shopping nearby. Makes it really convenient for our students that want to get basic necessities if they're looking to live off campus, but also just everyday merchandise here. With that, I'll pass it over to Katie, who's going to dive into Orillia.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Okay, so I am thrilled to share a little about my hometown of Orillia. I'm born and raised here, and many of my family members are still here as well. I've also chosen to raise my little family here. So one of my favorite parts of my role here is to kind of create and leverage those relationships throughout the community to enhance the student experience for you in Orillia. So we can go to the next slide to talk a little bit about the city. So people who live in Orillia experience the best of both worlds. Orillia is less than 90 minutes drive from the GTA, or the Greater Toronto Area. And even though we're having lots of growth and progress here, Orillia, otherwise known as the Sunshine City, has really worked hard to retain that small town feel that people have grown to love around here. So the city of Orillia is located in the heart of Ontario's Lake Country. We're on the shores of Lakes Couchiching and Lake Simcoe, and our year-round population is just over 30,000 people. However, during those summer months, June, July, and August, that does expand a little bit, given that we're a vacation destination for people wanting short-term stays or people who have summer homes here. So we're able to offer a lot of big city amenities, but in a much more intimate setting. The top industries within the city of Orillia include healthcare and social assistance, public administration, retail, accommodation and food services, and manufacturing. And to give you a few fun facts about a little bit of our history, in 1867, Orillia was first incorporated as a village, and that's actually the same year that Canada became a nation. So kind of interesting. Orillia officially became a city in 1969. In 1961, just prior to that, is when we launched the now famous Mariposa Folk Festival, which happens every year in July. I highly recommend. We have people come from all over to stay for the weekend, and this is Canada's longest running folk festival, so something we're kind of proud of. So to continue on with a little bit more history, we'll move to the next slide and take a step back in time for a moment. Here is the Orillia Opera House, and this sits right at the downtown main intersection of Orillia. So due to logging and rail links within Toronto and Georgian Bay, Orillia became a commercial center and summer resort in the mid-1800s. And its history has always been really deeply tied to access to water. So we're situated where we call the Narrows, where Lake Simcoe flows into Lake Couchiching. We also refer to this as the Minjickening Fish Weirs, and that's actually a National Historic Site. So really it was a gathering place for centuries before Europeans used it to bring furs to market. Sir John Simcoe was the first governor of Upper Canada, and he made this a permanent settlement area for himself. And part of that was because we are a gateway to the Muskoka region that's north of us, which has also been home to different areas of lumber, manufacturing, and actually very common with the arts and artists and musicians. So continuing on the theme of water, we'll move to the next slide and talk about all the other great features about our water access and waterfronts. So we're surrounded by lots of different historic waterways here. Orillia often gets the title of being the gateway to cottage country, and we've definitely earned that. So we have lots of different sandy beaches that are available for fun and boating. We have lots of different lakefront trail systems available to people living here, and lots of different green spaces to enjoy your time. We have lots of different events and festivals that take place along the waterfront, which is pictured here at Couchiching Beach and Centennial Park. And so some of these include the annual Waterfront Festival. We have Delicious Days of Summer Food Festival that happens. The Orillia Scottish Festival is a really big one. Every summer we have music in the park, usually on Sunday evenings. We have summer theater, and we have lots of different parades that happen throughout the year commemorating various different occasions. So I'll move to the next slide and tell you a little bit more about downtown as we move away from the water. Our downtown is very quaint and charming, I would say. So pictured here, this is Mississauga Street, which is our main street. And on it, you'll find over 150 different shops and over 30 different restaurants. It's a really great place if you're looking for unique items, handcrafted things. It offers lots of different spots for you to relax with friends or family that might be visiting you. You'll find all different foods, from pizza to burgers to lots of different eclectic menus. Really something for all different tastes and preferences. I am also personally very happy to offer my recommendations if you're ever open to that. Lots of different favorite spots. I'll also mention that we have a lot of different places that offer baked goods and sweets. So if you have a sweet tooth, this is definitely a place for you to head to. And these different bakeries also have specialty items that accommodate different diets and preferences. So things from gluten-free things, vegan things, lots of different specialty shops there too. Downtown is also known for embracing different festivals like our waterfront. So we have different holiday celebrations like an annual Christmas tree lighting. Our city staff will put on like Easter egg hunts for the kids and families to enjoy. And then often through nice weather seasons, you'll see them closing the main street for different festivals. That might include like featuring local artists and musicians, or even car enthusiasts will come gather here to look at like vintage cars and historic things. So definitely a fun spot. So I will move us along to talk a little bit about some of our green spaces. So this photo is taken at Scout Valley. And so Scout Valley is a 230-acre city-owned property. It's located southwest of Orillia and actually just minutes down the road here on University Ave away from campus. So this is a popular spot for students to go just to get a quick kind of breath away. We also, through the international office, will run walks and hikes over there and offer snowshoeing when it's possible. So if you go to Scouts Valley, you are going to find a few different loop trails, and you're going to be amongst lots of trees and deciduous forest. It's very serene there. You'll also maybe stumble upon a natural spring of water coming up from under the earth and a stream that flows all through these walking trails. If you make it to the top of one of those walking trails, there's also a really beautiful lookout that gives you views across Lake Simcoe and Lake Couchiching, as well as the broader city. So I'm going to move us over to the beach now and highlight some of these features. So Couchiching Beach Park includes the town dock where people will launch their boats, as well as a couple of different sandy beach areas that are open to the public. So it's a pretty large space. It's over 14 acres for this park. And this is naturally where a lot of our special events and festivals will happen. Another cool feature, we have the rotary train that runs throughout the warmer months here. It's a pretty cool, fun feature, great for like families, young people to enjoy that. We also have the iconic French's hot dog stand here. It opened in 1920, so it's been around for quite a long time. They've done some work on it recently, so it's in pretty good shape, and they've expanded the menu a little bit, so I highly recommend that. But the other thing that's recently been added is a food truck called Ebony Bites, and it's a Caribbean-inspired fusion food truck, which Jordan, we haven't had the chance to check out yet together, but it'll be on the list. Um, so it's a really fun space, especially during those warmer months for you to just like relax, enjoy, meet some friends, hang out, and enjoy the outdoors. But in those cooler months in the winter here in Orillia, I'll get Hardica to move to the next one. Thank you. Um, Maybe you're up for some downhill adventures and up for something more risk taking, or maybe you'd like a less adventurous option. But know that there are lots of options here for you to try out, from skiing and snowboarding, snowshoeing being a little more low key, snow tubing where you don't really need to do much, you just hop in the tube and fly down the hill. Skating is a really popular activity here. So just know there are lots of things for you to do in those cooler months as well. The city also operates 8 different free outdoor skating rinks throughout the city. Weather dependent, obviously, because they're outdoor. And we also have an on-campus outdoor skating rink. Our athletics department looks after this, and they do even have some skates available for you to borrow if you just want to try it out as like a one-time thing. So another cool feature that I highly recommend. So speaking of campus, I'll move on to the next slide and talk a little bit more about Lakehead Orillia campus here. So we are a growing and vibrant, very close-knit community located in the city of Orillia. We have more than 17 different undergraduate and graduate degree programs here. So to give you some quick facts and figures, we do have over 1,800 students studying in Orillia currently. Our student to faculty ratio is 13:1, so really great for that interaction with your faculty members. And the cool feature about our 3 buildings here in Orillia is that they fall under leadership and energy and environmental design standards. So we do have our LEED certification. And you'll notice many of those different environmental features as you explore the campus. So notice things like the use of natural light, automatic electrical systems. We have geothermal heating. We embrace green spaces and kind of avoid those heat sink features of campus. So be attuned to those. It's kind of a cool feature of our buildings here. We also have a 240 room residence on campus. So in addition to housing our students, we also house a lot of different conferences and external groups that come to visit campus and use this for facilitation spaces. So I'm going to move us on to the next slide and show you a bit of a map to orient you here. So what you are looking at, don't be fooled by all the open space, the brown and green spaces here. There has been a lot of development happening in this area around us. So our campus was built in 2010, and since then we've had hundreds and hundreds of homes going up around us. So to orient you, in the bottom left there is where Lakehead Orillia campus sits on University Avenue. So as I was saying, that brown and green space around us, don't let that fool you. There's a lot going on around here. Just above our campus on the map, you can see some home development, and that's been expanding since this photo was taken. So lots of residential areas, which is great if you're interested in moving or in living off campus. A lot of our students do choose to do that. Other things that I'll highlight on this map, across the road, you'll see a few other developments going on there, but I'll fill you in on what's been happening in the meantime. So we have a Costco that's right across the road from us. We have a ton of new restaurants that have popped up. We have the Ontario Provincial Police local detachment for Orillia. A Hydro One Regional Operations Center that's opened. So these are massive organizations, but also massive employers for you to be connected to. This general area that's shown for most of the map here is what we call Westridge. So we're on the west side of town, west side of Orillia. It takes less than 15 minutes to ride the City of Orillia Transit right into downtown. So the transit route comes right on campus, picks you up, and can take you downtown, which is towards the top of the screen there, closer to the water. So although it might look like it's far away, it's actually pretty easy to access. And that bus pass is something that's included as part of your tuition if you're a full-time student studying here. So that's coordinated through our student union. It's a simple process when you arrive to show your ID and then get a bus pass issued to you. And that gives you all access all throughout the year from September right through until the end of August when you'll start your next school year and get a different bus pass. Just above Lakehead on the map is also a very well-known shopping center in Westridge. So shops like Walmart, Best Buy for technology needs and cell phone stuff, SIM cards, lots more restaurants. There are various fitness centers and gyms, lots of different grocery stores, and again, lots of student housing in this area. So I'm going to move us to the next slide. So this is a shot of campus specifically. So 3 buildings, as I mentioned. On the right side, there is the academic building. So this is where all your classes and your labs are going to take place. This also happens to be where my office is located and many of our events take place. On the left, there is the residence building, which I mentioned houses about 240 students. And then towards the top of the screen, the smallest building is our cafeteria combined with the bookstore. So you can't really get lost. Lots of easy access to get where you need to go as part of your studies. On the next slide, as we wrap up talking about Orillia, I'll give you one final shot here. So this is a quick visual of where our campus sits in relation to the broader city. So as I mentioned, we are on the outskirts on the west end there, southwest, I guess, of University Avenue. You'll see we're in easy proximity to lots of different grocery stores, shopping centers, etc. Oh, sorry, we're at the top of the screen. I'm looking at the wrong angle here. So just like Thunder Bay, we're easily accessible so that you can access the things that you need as a student without having to spend a lot of time and energy trying to get to those places. So with that, I'm going to wrap up our chat about Orillia, and I'm going to move us on to our newest hometown of Barrie. So Barrie is about 30 kilometers south of Orillia, so a quick drive, maybe 20 minutes if you're going from Orillia to Barrie. And from the other direction, if you are heading north of Toronto, leaving the airport, after about a 1 hour to 90-minute drive, you're going to land in Barrie. So Barrie is also located in Simcoe County, just as Orillia is, and shares a lot of similar features in terms of access to trails, ski hills, different waterfront opportunities, lots of great options throughout all 4 seasons, while also giving you this urban experience. So Barrie has a population of just over 150,000 people, and it's continuing to grow. Hardik, I'll get you to move to the next slide, I think. Or Jordan, sorry. Thank you. So this is an aerial shot of the city of Barrie. You'll see similarities right away to the city of Orillia in that much of their city sits along beautiful waterfront, very picturesque, very enjoyable, lots of different perks to it. So like I said, although Barrie is much bigger than Orillia, with over 150,000 people and growing, it does offer many different opportunities to you, various services, lots of different amenities. And I will also point out that although it is a fairly large city and growing, it is one of Canada's safest cities to live in and enjoy. So to give you some background around history, I'll move to, thank you, the next slide. To give you some background info on where Barrie began. So Barrie's beginnings can trace back to First Nations people using the western shores of Kempenfelt Bay, that waterfront you saw on the previous slide, as a place to rest before traveling the portage that ran between Lake Simcoe and the Nottawasaga River to Lake Huron. The War of 1812 resulted in increased use, allowing for British troops and supplies to bypass the American forces that were located in Detroit. So as this lovely city grew, it began to export local resources. So there was logging of different trees being shipped out, serving as masts for different ships and railway ties. And in the winter months, huge blocks of ice were cut from the frozen waters in Kempenfelt Bay and shipped to places like Toronto, Buffalo, and New York for refrigeration. So I will show you a little bit more about Barrie's waterfront as we kind of continue on with this water theme and what Barrie's known for. So Lakehead STEM Hub is in the heart of community events in this waterfront community. It's in the midst of lots of different entertainment, restaurants, lots of different shopping, all along this very beautiful waterfront that you see here in this photo. So whether it be enjoying some free time outdoors at the different concerts at Meridian Place, exploring different vendors as part of the different festivals that happen at Heritage Park here, getting a workout in at the different outdoor fitness stations along the waterfront trail, maybe enjoying different fireworks that happen over Kempenfelt Bay. Lots of different ways that you can enjoy your time outside of the classroom or your labs. So I'll talk a little bit more about downtown in the next slide. So moving away from the water, steps away, there are lots of different amenities that you can enjoy downtown Barrie. So as shown here, this is one of the different music festivals happening, the fireworks that are taking place in the evening. In addition to the different festivals and special events, there's lots of different kind of supermarkets, specialty grocery stores, lots of different specialty shops for shopping for like handmade things or special items that are characteristic to this area. So lots of things to enjoy. As I noted before, though, Barrie is a very growing urban center. So lots of different diverse options and more coming all the time. The other thing I wanted to point out about this area where special events happen is that there are lots of different ethnocultural groups in Barrie and different associations. These groups do plan and organize a lot of the special events that happen in this area downtown Barrie. One of those key groups is called the Ethnic Mosaic Alliance, and they are a great ally to Lakehead, very welcoming of Lakehead University students. So if you are looking to be engaged in the community, that is one group that I would highly recommend that you look into. I will move to the next slide and talk a little bit about Fort Willow. So this is a local heritage site close to Barrie. It was built during War of 1812 as a supply depot, and it's located about 10 to 15 kilometers from that downtown area that we showed in the previous slides. So you could drive there, or if you are more active, you could consider using the 9 Mile Portage Trail that connects Meridian Place, where those events happen, and it's about a 15-kilometer hike to Fort Willow. So something you might consider on a nice weather day if you are that adventurous. I'll move to the next slide and tell you a little bit about the Spirit Catcher, because this is something that you will definitely see if you are at the STEM Hub. So this is an artistic piece that's at the Barrie waterfront. It's influenced by Indigenous cultures in the Pacific Northwest, and the work actually references that of a thunderbird. So this was the first piece of work that the McLaren Art Center added to its permanent collection. And it's probably not a surprise that this is the largest piece in that collection. It is a beautiful piece, so I highly recommend that you check it out and read some of the information and plaques that are available around it. We'll move us on to a little bit about the beaches downtown Barrie. So lots of ways that you can enjoy. You can enjoy the different park spaces, playgrounds, if you're bringing family with you and young people. There's kind of something for everyone. So what you're not seeing behind this photo are the different walking trails, parking lots to make this accessible. And this is not the only beach. There are lots, many of them along the trails and the waterfront here. So I highly recommend you give them a shot. Okay, over to the winter months and how to enjoy your time in Barrie. Similar to Orillia, Barrie is also within a 1 hour proximity of many different ski hills and resorts. Maybe skiing isn't quite your thing or snowboarding isn't your thing, that's okay. You can also go to these resorts to enjoy your time doing other things that are maybe a bit more leisurely or that you don't need a lot of skill for. So you might enjoy your time at one of their delicious restaurants. They have different spas and wellness spaces. You could go cross-country skiing or maybe snowshoeing. They do have a number of different trails for those activities as well. So again, within 1 hour drive, you can make it to either of these three places. Okay, now that we've talked a little bit about the community of Barrie, I'm going to get more specific on where the Barrie STEM Hub is. So this is quickly gaining reputation for being a regional hub for innovation. And Barrie provides opportunities for lots of different co-ops, internships, and employment opportunities with different tech startups, engineering firms, manufacturers, and public sector employers. So as you see in the picture here, this is right downtown by the waterfront. So you will be in the mix, in the heart of it all, and within walking distance to lots of different amenities that are accessible to you. If we go to the next slide, I'll show you a bit more of an aerial shot here. So Barrie STEM Hub kind of on the left of the screen. Two different locations, one location being lab spaces, the other being more like classroom spaces and services. But I can assure you, I've done the walk myself, and it is literally 3 to 4 minutes long, easily accessible in any conditions. And you can also see here how close it is to the waterfront if you're looking for a quick break or maybe enjoying your lunch, as well as being close to the downtown core of Barrie. Okay, so even zooming out even further, a few other things I wanted to point out about your location at the Barrie STEM Hub. You'll see on the left side of the screen here is the Allendale GO station. So this is where you would catch the train or the bus if you want to go south of Barrie, so back to the Greater Toronto area. 1.7 kilometer walk away along that waterfront trail, so very enjoyable and pretty accessible to you. As you can see here, some grocery stores and shopping centers, all around you, lots of different options. I also wanted to point out that there are a couple of other transit systems that exist and are accessible to you. So there's city transit that takes you around the Barrie area specifically, but there's also the Lynx Simcoe County Transit that goes right through here as well. And that is going to take you either to Orillia, and all the other surrounding communities that have, for example, those ski hills that we had mentioned earlier. So lots of different access and availability of these different amenities if you were going to be studying at the STEM Hub, downtown Barrie. I did want to point out too that distance again between Barrie and Orillia. So as I said, it's 20 to 30 minutes straight down the highway, Highway 11, and you'll be to Barrie or Orillia. And that Lynx transportation, that bus can take you between the two locations as well. It does multiple trips every day. It's very cost effective. I believe it's under $4 per trip to get you back and forth on the highway. And I think this might be our last Barrie shot here. This is the Allendale GO terminal. So again, easy access to Toronto, as well as Southern Ontario. So these buses run 7 days a week. And this station is within walking distance to the Barrie STEM Hub. So again, if you are commuting or you're going to visit family or going to the city for special events, very accessible and very affordable as well. Okay, I think with that, I will turn it back to Hartika.
All right, thank you so much, both of you,
Thank
for
you.
sharing such in-depth information about our hometowns, Thunder Orillia, and Barrie. I think that was really useful and beneficial for our incoming students or even future Lakehead students. So with that, let's just open the floor for Q&A. I would like to give a shout out to Paula, who was answering questions in the meantime as we were presenting. So yeah, let's just move on to our questions. So Katie, we have certain questions that have come up. I can see that you want to answer those live, so go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So the one question in the Q&A box is, how easy is it to travel to the other towns if I want to visit and experience them? So the short answer is fairly easy. So I mentioned a couple different transit options for you. If you are looking to leave the city of Barrie or the city of Orillia to go explore another town, you are going to be using either Lynx Transit, which is run by the County of Simcoe, and takes you kind of that 1 hour radius around Orillia and Barrie. That goes right through campus in Orillia here, where I am right now. The Lynx bus comes through here. It also stops downtown Barrie, so if you're at the STEM Hub, you could find it there. You can jump on that bus for $4, and that will take you to other towns that you could check out. If you're looking to go further outside of the County of Simcoe to experience things like might be Toronto, or maybe Hamilton, Niagara Falls is a popular one. That's where you would use GO Transit. Or there's another transit system called Northland, and that's a busing system. But that is all accessible through downtown Barrie or downtown Orillia. So lots of different options for you. Hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Katie.
There's another question here from Rogers. It says, kindly post a link that allows us to get the real tuition fees and procedures of tuition fee payment. So in the webinar chat, I did share the link. It's www.lakeheadu.ca/tuition. I do want to note, though, of course, you said the real fees. The fees that are publicly available right now are for the current academic year for 2025 fall as well as 26 winter. The fees for the upcoming year are typically published each May. So once the Senate and Board of Governors here at Lakehead University approves the fee structure for the upcoming year, those will be published on our website. So keep an eye out around May, like I said before, for the fees. What I will note is that if you're looking for a better understanding of what your fees will look like coming up this year, look at the current fees right now and typically add a nominal increase, typically between 1 to 3% increase for annual changes. And then with that being said, when you actually go to pay the fees, there's a wide different range of options, all publicly listed on our website. So we're not hiding anything. We don't want it to make it hard or confusing how to pay your fees. But there's a lot of different options, and the different options will suit each applicant differently. So you can check those out and see which one will work best for you and your financial institution back home. And then you can make the decision how to proceed with payment at that point. If you do need any further assistance, of course, we do have dedicated international accounts officer, Chris Gallinger. He's accessible via email and by phone. His information is publicly listed on our webpage as well, so you can find that information on our website. I think that covers all the ones that I had marked. There is another application, or pardon me, there's another question that came through. I'm happy to answer. It says, when will the dorm applications be open for Thunder Bay fall intake? So my experience is typically they'll open in March actually. So we would anticipate that they could be coming soon. I'll look to Hardica. Maybe she has insight, perhaps, maybe not. I don't know. Whether or not those would be opening anytime soon. Hardica, have you heard from our residents team around deadlines or?
Yeah, Jordan. So last I had checked, it was not open, but I will still I will just put a link in the chat, which has all the important dates that usually they updated. So just keep an eye on this page. Yeah.
For sure. Good point. Yeah. And I also saw a question come through, and I'm curious. I wanted to pose this question to you, Hartika. It says, uh, how is the winter season for new students in Thunder Bay? You were a new student in Thunder Bay and you got to experience your first Canadian winter a few years back. What is your opinion on it? I think it's always valuable to hear right from a
Right.
person who's experienced it.
Thank you, Jordan. So my winter experience was actually very good, but also different and unique because where I come from, there's not much snow. So it was my first time experiencing snow and winter in a different country. So it was really good. Yeah, there were few like hiccups in terms of I had to prepare for a lot of things like getting a winter jacket, snow boots, and also I didn't know what to expect. So I think doing better research and just layering up is the way to go. Yeah, and just be mindful of the challenges that you may face. But then again, it's really good and it is manageable for most international students.
Yeah, I like that you noted obviously there's some expectations you had
Yeah.
set that maybe weren't not necessarily not realistic, but perhaps if you had reached out or had that support available, which of course that is what Katie does day to day in terms of supporting current students in Simcoe area, Thunder Bay, or pardon me, Orillia and Barrie. And then we have a dedicated team here in Thunder Bay also supporting current student affairs. They are your go-to team. They are the people that you should be going to ask advice. Even if you're looking online and being like, oh, should I buy this jacket or this jacket? They'll give you that fashion sense too if you really need it. They're happy to make sure that you're going to be comfortable and you're going to have a smooth transition to the university atmosphere.
Yeah, if I can add to that, Jordan.
Sure.
So, once you accept your offer and we get closer to the start of your time in your program, you are going to be invited to some cool webinars that I collaborate on with my colleagues in Thunder Bay from International Student Services. And these are some of the things we talk about, especially if you're planning to arrive in January. We literally dedicate a session to winters in Canada and like how to prepare for that and what to expect. So I highly recommend you keep an eye on your Lakehead inbox and watch for your invitations to those webinars. They'll be happening in the summer months if you're planning to come for September. So
For sure. I
hopefully,
always liken it to if you're going on a trip that's to a destination that doesn't have a similar climate necessarily. If you're going on a beach vacation and you have to think to yourself, what do I need to pack or what should I buy there? Of course, when you're going on a beach vacation, you might want to bring your bathing suit, for example. When you're moving to Thunder Bay, Orillia, or Barrie, we also typically recommend, of course, pack your warmest clothes, but pack a variety. We enjoy all four seasons here in our hometowns, which is really exciting. Things that we also recommend is buying stuff here. Buying a winter jacket in Canada that's built and has experienced Canada or winters for hundreds, thousands of years versus buying one back home might not provide you the same sort of protection or warmth. But like Katie noted, we offer these sessions to help you transition and make it more smooth. I'll pass it over to you, Hartika, and I'll advance to the next slide. I know that we've gone over time just a bit, but
Yeah.
some really great questions.
All right. Thank you so much, both of you, for sharing your insights today and to be able to answer a lot of questions that our students or our audience today have. So with that, I would just like to say that if you want to stay connected with us beyond today, we are there on our social media channels, which is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube under Lakehead International. If you're curious about student life, upcoming events, scholarships, any kind of behind the scene content, campus content, those are the platforms that are a great way to stay in the loop. So we really hope to see you at one of our next live webinars, and even more, we'd love to welcome you on campus as a Lakehead student someday.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.